Hey everyone, when you get your Gravity XS, it's going to come in a box just like this, and when you're finished assembling it, it'll look like this. Now we're going to do this in real time so that we can overcome any obstacles that you might get as we put this together. But inside your box you'll have a little note from me. You'll have your titanium parts, your hardware, and also a little sticker. Now let's open this up so that you guys can see everything you're supposed to have. In your hardware bag, you're going to have one spring, you'll have 3 pins, 3 E-clips, and also a swivel and 2 small split rings. There we go. There's all the parts you're supposed to have. And then in your titanium bag, you're going to have 3 hammers. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 3 linkages and 1 crosspiece. Now let's put this thing together. First thing we're going to do is take our hammer and we're going to fit 2 pins through the back side. There's 1, there's 2. And then from here we're going to take another hammer and we're going to place it on top right here in the middle. There we go. Now we're going to get our linkage, our first linkage, and we're going to put it on the lower left hand side. Now there is a possibility that when your part was being cut, a little bit of dross stayed on the inside, on the back side rather. Let's see if I can get this thing to focus. Come on, focus. Here, let's do this instead. There it goes. You can barely see it on the bottom side of that hole that there's a little bit of slag or dross that's preventing the pin from going through. So this is what you're going to want to do to fix that. Simply get a screwdriver and ream it out just a little bit. There you go. That part's gone. I already heard it click off. There we go. Now that goes on just fine. Now what we're going to do from here is take another hammer, put our last pin through, or actually this is a linkage. We're going to slip it in from the back. And here's everything almost ready to go. We would just put our hammer and our last linkage on, but we have this spacer here that we're going to cut apart and put that on as well. Here's where you're going to need your scissors. We're going to start by cutting the small circle. Just cut it so that it stays a nice circle. There's our circle there. And we're going to put that one on the lower left hand pin. There we go. And now we're going to take our bicycle link looking thing. Here it is. Had a hard time seeing it against the counter. Now we're going to snip off this little tab that's on this side. Same thing, just try to keep the profile looking nice. Good. And put it onto the hammer so that it matches the silhouette. There we go. If you guys didn't see that, I'll take it off and show you one more time. Here is my spacer, and I'm just simply putting it right there. From here, I'm going to put my last hammer. There we go. And my last linkage. There we go. Everything's lined up and looking good. And now it's time to put on the E-clips. Now the E-clips have 2 different sides. One side has a rounded over edge and the other side is kind of rough. And that's because the rough side is what was facing downwards when it got punched out on the table. There we go. See, there's the rough side. I'll flip it over and there's a nice smooth edge side. Make sure the smooth edge side is facing up. Now what you want to do is place them on from the edge so that you're not scratching your parts. So put it on just like that, underneath the groove of the pin. I'll try to zoom in here so that you guys can see what we're doing. There we go. Now here's how you want to do that. I have these needle nose pliers. These are just cheap pliers that I got from Walmart. I think they were 99 cents or something like that. But you're going to take one of the thumbnails or fingernails on your opposite hand and hold the clip down. Sorry, my camera's having trouble focusing. hold the clip down, and then with your other hand, you're just going to push on the clip. There we go. Now I didn't hear a click, and that's because this middle part of the E-clip hasn't gone underneath into the groove. So make sure, there you go. Did you guys hear that click? Now it's fully seated. Good? You want to make sure that the entire clip is within the groove, otherwise they could possibly pop off. Here we go, we're going to do the same thing again. Slip it underneath. Good, that's underneath. I'm holding it down with my fingernail so that it doesn't go flying. And then I'm going to push it on with my needle nose pliers. Make sure that it's well seated. There we go. It'll fool you that first push, you'll think it's really in there, but you have to make sure that it's inside that groove completely. Last one. There we go. I think we might have gotten that one completely on the first time. Okay, sorry for the blurriness. Again, we're doing this in real time so that we can work through any problems that we might have, just like if you were building this in real life. Now that's gone together nice and smooth. Time for the small split ring. Now this is probably the most difficult part to do. What we're going to do here is grab the opening with our needle nose pliers, and then we're going to hold our excess, and we're going to take the linkage that is nearest us and point it to our right, depending on whether you're left-handed or right-handed. I'm doing this right-handed. Now we're going to push and pull so that we can open up the split ring and slip it over the part. But the secret is we have to use our middle finger to hold down the back of the split ring so it doesn't go moving away from us. So hold it down with your middle finger up against the part in the back, and in the front we're going to push and pull so that we can slip the opening over the part. May take a couple tries. There we go. Now I'm on there, let's zoom in. You see the split ring is on to the first part. Now all I'm going to do here is twist this 90 degrees so that the wire goes into the opening, just like that. And from here we're going to feed the rest of the linkages through. So I'm going to take my next linkage, feed it through, wiggle the split ring just a little bit. Here's my next linkage, feed it through. There we go. Now we have all three linkages through the small split ring. Before you finish feeding everything through, you want to take your swivel and put it within the opening, and now you can feed everything else. Zoom out here. There we go. We got our small split ring and our swivel on. Get your conical spring, put it on there, and then you're going to keep it in place with your large split ring. And there it is. There is your finished titanium Gravity XS. Now you have a loose spring. This is how you're going to want it if you're going to retrieve something, like a pair of scissors. Let's see how good my aim is. There we go. Right? But if you want to keep the jaws closed, you're just going to take your spring and pop it over the small split ring. Just like that. And now it forces the jaws closed so you can clip it onto your belt loop, or you can use your cross piece, slip it in there, and you have yourself a little tiny grappling hook. Okay? Again, if you want to take it off, you're going to do like a syringe action with your thumb and your fingers. Come on. There we go. This spring is brand new, so it has all the memory still. Push this open, and there you go. There you have it. There's your XS keychain. I hope you like it. If you have any issues, please feel free to contact me. Thanks, everyone.